You are alone in the house. Everyone else is out. And from somewhere down the hall, there is a sound. Notice what happens in the half second after. Before you have moved, before you have thought anything you could put into words, your mind has already produced a question. And the question is not, what was that? And it is who is there. And you did not choose that word. Nobody taught it to you. But every time, in every empty house, in every dark room, the first thing your mind reaches for is a person. Not a pipe, not the wind, not the wood in the floor contracting as the temperature drops. Someone. Daneniri. Aneri. You probably assume this is fear talking, that you have absorbed too many horror films and the movies put the intruder in your head. Onhent. But you have it backwards. The films did not put him there. The films work because he was already there. To see how deep this goes, start with an experiment so simple it seems like a joke, run more than 80 years ago. In 1944, two psychologists named Fritz Heider and Marianne Simmel made a short animation. There is no story in it. There are no characters. There is a large triangle, a small circle, and a rectangle with an opening in one side. The shapes move around. That is the entire film. They showed it to people and asked what they saw. Almost nobody described shapes moving. They described a story. The big triangle was a bully. It was chasing the smaller shapes. The little triangle and the circle were trying to escape, or hide, or protect each other. People assigned motives, personalities, fear, courage, cruelty. Some got angry at a triangle. There was nothing to get angry at. There were no intentions in that film. The intentions were manufactured, instantly and involuntarily, by the people watching. That is what your mind is doing in the hallway. It is not analyzing a sound, it is generating an agent. The anthropologist Stuart Guthrie built an entire theory of religion on this observation. His argument, laid out in a book called Faces in the Clouds, is that human beings are chronic, compulsive anthropomorphizers. We see faces in electrical outlets and car grills and burnt toast. We tell the weather it is being unfair. We swear at the car when it will not start. We do not do this because we are foolish. We do it because our perception is built to guess in a particular direction, and it guesses toward persons. And the psychologist Justin Barrett gave the mechanism a name that has stuck in the field: the hyperactive agency detection device. The idea is that we carry a system tuned to detect other minds, and that system is not calibrated for accuracy. It is calibrated to be jumpy. Ask why, and the logic is the same brutal arithmetic that governs every survival system you have. Hear a rustle in the grass, decide it is the wind, and be wrong, and you are dead. Hear a rustle, decide it is a leopard, and be wrong, and you have wasted a heartbeat and look slightly foolish to nobody. Those two mistakes are not equal. They were never equal. So the system was never built to be right. It was built to be wrong in the survivable direction, thousands of times, for as long as it takes. Your hallway is running that system right now. There is no leopard. There has not been a leopard for a very long time. The device does not know that. Now follow that device out of your hallway, and something remarkable comes into view. If every human mind is running a machine that manufactures invisible persons, then every human culture should have produced them, not similar ones, the same one. And that is roughly what happened. Across the world, in societies with no contact, no shared language, no trade route between them, people described a creature that is almost identical, small, human-shaped, living close to where people live, in the woods, at the edge of the field, under the floor, behind the house, mischievous rather than monstrous. It hides your things, it plays tricks. It must be respected, and if it is not, small misfortunes follow. And it takes children who wander too far. In Scandinavia, it is the tomte. In Germany, the kobold. Among the Ainu of northern Japan, the koropokuru, the people under the leaves. In Hawaii, the menehune. Among the Noongar of Australia, the wudaji. Among the Zulu, the tokoloshe. These traditions did not borrow from one another. The Ainu were not trading stories with the Noongar. Now, one honest correction, because it matters, and because you may have grown up with this exact word. The duende of Latin America is not an independent invention. That specific figure came from the Iberian Peninsula and traveled with colonization to Latin America, the Philippines, and Guam. The name moved, the stories moved. But that does not weaken the pattern, it sharpens it. Because you have to ask why a borrowed creature took root so completely, and why it merged so easily with the beings that were already here. An imported story only survives if it lands in a mind already shaped to receive it. The duende arrived. It was recognized. Here is what all of this adds up to, and it is not what you expect. You were probably taught that these beings are cultural, that they belong to a place, that they are the property of a particular grandmother and a particular mountain, and that people who did not grow up with them simply have different stories. But you have it backwards. The stories are not what spread. The stories are what the machine produces. Give a jumpy agent detector a dark forest, a house that creaks at night, objects that go missing, children who sometimes wander off and do not come back, and it will build you a small person who lives at the edge of the light. It will do this in Norway, and it will do this in Hawaii, and neither one has to hear about the other. This is also why the belief is so difficult to shake with argument. You cannot reason your way out of it, because it does not live in the part of you that reasons. You can know completely that the house is empty, and still your body will produce a who when the floor sounds. I should be honest that this is a hypothesis, not a settled fact. The agency detection account is influential in the cognitive science of religion, and it is also contested. Some researchers argue it explains less than its supporters claim. That argument is live, and it is worth knowing that it is live. But the thing underneath it is not in dispute. Your mind is not a neutral instrument pointed at the world. It arrives with a strong opinion about what is out there. And that opinion is someone. So the next time you are alone in a quiet house and something down the hall makes a sound, and your whole body reorganizes itself around a person who is not there, do not be embarrassed by it. You are not being childish, and you are not being irrational. You are running the oldest safety system your species has, the one that kept a very long line of nervous, jumpy, easily spooked people alive long enough to have you. Every one of them looked into the dark and saw someone. Most of the time, there was nobody. But they only had to be right once.